Okay, friends. So let me tell you what I did and how I configured this. So let me share you what I did. Okay, so I created a ingress. Okay, ingress controller, and this is my nginx ingress controller. Now, definitely for ingress controller, you need the rules, right? So how it will be moved there. So I created ingress as well. So with the controller, so you need a ingress, right? So these two things. Behind this one, I have created applications like app 1. So there is app 2 and app 3. So three apps will be there, and uh, based on the rules, it will move here. So now if any request is coming over here, so it will be moved based on the what is the application. Now each application definitely it was exposed by a service, right? So you know about that. So each has a service name as well. So in front of this is service. Okay, so this is service for app 1. This is service for app 2 and service for app 3. So three services are there. If somebody is coming onto the app, they want to move on to the app 1, so they have to give into the browser uh, the IP address or name of, and then it will come, the request will go based on the what are the rules are mentioned. In the rule I have mentioned, if the request is coming for app 1, it should go app 1. If it is in the browser you are mentioning slash app 2, it will go to app 2, otherwise go to app 3. So from here it will go to your actual pod request, so where this application is running. Okay, so these things. Now I have created a load balancer in Google, and this is I created the network load balancer, or you can say TCP load balancer, and I configured a static IP address over here. Static IP address, public IP address to this load balancer. Now this load balancer send the request over here, and this is the complete setup which are going to create. Now I'm here, so when I'm accessing this static IP on which is assigned to this load balancer, and the app will be means it can access whichever app it is required. So I hope so everybody is clear about what I'm going to showcase here. Now, let me clear about how we are configuring. So let me first show you what I am going to do. And yes, over here, let me make it a little big. Okay, now I've already created and tested it. So, but I will create once again everything. Okay, so I have created this particular folder here. All the YAML files are here. So first is the YAML file which is configured here. Both are same, but here I little bit changes I did. So by default, I will show you what the changes I made it in the latest one. See, this is for the nginx controller. You have to means it's publicly available. Only thing is I have mentioned here external IPs here. So here if you are using and give the external IP, whatever the IP address you have got it here. Okay, same IP address you can mention over here as well. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second, if you don't know how to create, okay, if you don't know how to create particularly uh, IP address onto the on Google, I'm using on Google, so let me show you that as well. So just I have created, so just select over IP, go to external IP address. It will open a new tab. See here. So I just created a new external IP, and this IP address I got it from here. You can also create a new static IP for yourself. Okay, So that is you can get it. So reserve on the top, reserve static IP address, click over here, and here you just mention where you want, which location it is want. I need in the same location and reserve it. Okay, I already got one IP address, this I created. Okay, second, you need a load balancer. Okay, so when you are just search on the top load balancer, so when it is coming load balancing, just open into the new tab, and you can see here I created here two load balancer is there. I'm just we need only one. So what you can do, how you create a load balancer, just click on create load balancer. It is asking three. So TCP I created, start configuration, access from the internet to my VMs, just click over here. It is single region only, and backend or target pool. I mentioned target pool. In target pool, you have just give the existing, select existing items over here, you can see, and here you can select your both particular the VMs which you want. Okay, for example, here name is my app load balancer. Okay, and here your existing VMs it has to defined. Just a second, it is taking time. Wait a second. Oh, select firstly region, and I am in US Central. Now existing VMs, so you can select it. I am just select my worker nodes. So these two, just you select it and leave all other part same way and go to front end. Now how what is the front end?
It's
So
3
you have to
o'clock.
mention here what is the IP address. Okay, so either you will select your whatever the IP address you got it static, that you have to mention here, and what is the port number. For example, you are mentioning port number 80 and just done it. Okay, so this particular is already assigned there in my load balancer. So let's see here, it is creating. But this same IP I've already configured over here as well. So I don't know if the same IP can configure or not, but let's see. But you need now you can understand why means how to create and how to assign the IP address on the load balancer. Now come back and see over here. Uh, as I told you here, only two things you have to need to change. One, in the service, it should not be node port. You have to mention load balancer. Okay, so this particular Nginx, okay, it create a service. So this service should be your external IP and load balancer you have to mention. Okay, now if I go already here, OC get hyphen A hyphen N. So I want to go and check into my Nginx namespace, so which I have created. Let me show you ingress hyphen Nginx. So here already everything it is available. Get all. So you can see Nginx controller is already configured, deployment is already configured, replica set and all other things is already. And here if you see here the particular controller type, it is equal to load balancer, and by default in the service you will see this IP address which I gave to my particular load balancer. Okay. I think this load balancer invalid value because IP address is already used. This IP address didn't create my load balancer. But I hope you understand. So what I want to configure. Now, once you configure this, now you have to configure three applications. Okay. So how you any application, any single application, or wherever you want Nginx, whatever you want, you can create it by yourself. Okay. Let me show you how I created it. And See here, there is three apps, app 1, app 2, app 3. Each has two pods are there. Okay, so how I configured this particular application, let me share with you. Um, wget, this is particularly, I will show you. So this is the deploy file. So in the deployment, there is, you can see here, it is a application 1, deployment 2, particular replicas, and it will, you can see, it will just a nginx particular image it is running there. Okay, come down, it is service, and service is app1 service, port number 80 it is running. Same way, you have the second deployment, you can see second deployment, third deployment, and each application with that, when it is deploy this one, it is create a service as well. So once you deploy this file, okay, oc get svc, so you can see there is three services will also created, and each three services will get its cluster IP. Now if you curl this one, http colon, so each one has a app1. Now if you open second IP and give it here app2, because each application has a separate service. Now see here second, and same way third you can test. It is internally it is working, so we are good. Now we are good. Third also we can test. Now here. Now we have created ingress as well. So let me show you the ingress setting. For same ingress rule, what I defined, wget, I download this file, less ingress rule. So here you can see the what is the ingress rule. If somebody is mentioning slash app1, it should go to the service number, service app1 svc. If it is app2, it will go to the service app2. Okay, if it is 3, it is go to third number. So that is the ingress rule I have defined. Now come here, once you deployed this rule, now check your, let me check my ingress controller. Ingress controller now. See here. In ingress controller, if I check this IP, internal IP, okay, same thing. This is ingress controller IP, http colon slash app1. So it is working, app2 it is working, app3 it is working. Now same thing it is working internal. Now I will take this external IP which I created. Now open into the browser. If you go here, nothing will work because there is no slash. So slash app1, you can see app1 is working. Then you can move it, app2 is working, and slash 3, app3 is working. Okay, so I am giving this load balancer IP and there it is configured. Okay, this is the dedicated IP which I have given. So this way you can configure your all the application through your external load balancer which is running on right now onto the Google Cloud. That is the external load balancer. Even this particular IP, if it is more you want to do, you can go move into the DNS, whatever the application name, example.com, abc.com, you can move it over there. On your local system, you can give the record on etc host file, then also it will work. So now when I access this particular IP slash app1, app2, app3, it is based on this, it will move over here. I hope so you are able to understand now, and if you have any question in future, just let me know. Thanks everyone.